Okay folks, today is grout sealing day. Just like my floor grout sealing, I'm gonna be using this one right here. I'll have it linked in the description box below. Has a little brush tip on the end. Very convenient and nice. Now, reading the directions, you need to be in a well-ventilated area. I'm gonna be turning on the bathroom vent, and I have the back door open, bringing in a breeze. I got my 3M mask, my 2097 respirator mask. I'm also gonna be wearing gloves right here, and I have my shop towels as well. So let me talk you through it and then I'll show it to you, but I won't be able to talk with the mask on, obviously. So what I'm gonna do is obviously start from the top or whatever, work my way down. I'm gonna be literally, that's why I like this, is because the little brush right here, I'm literally going to be just brushing the grout line like that. What I actually found, especially with the floor video, if you don't wanna buff it out too much and it dries here in Colorado, it dries really fast. So what I'm gonna do is, because these are such large tiles, I'm probably gonna do a set of 3 full tiles. So all the grout lines, including the Schluter edge grout line. Then I'm gonna buff it with my shop towel, with my gloves on, of course, not getting in the grout line, but just going over the top of the tile without digging in the grout line. I'll give you an example. Then we're gonna let it sit for 30 minutes. We're gonna come back and do a second coat of the grout sealer on all walls, and then our grout sealing is done. Again, we don't have any grout in the very corner there. That is gonna be for the silicone, which I'll show you a tip about how to do that as well. Not to mention the top edge of the roof, we're gonna silicone that as well. So we're just grout sealing these little small sliver tiles on the very end, not the actual joint, and then all the large main tiles here. This is what the little sliver of tile I'm talking about right here. And then again, we're gonna silicone this edge all the way up right there. Folks, we're going to be right back to the video, but I want to take a moment and thank today's sponsor, Ridge. Ridge and Hennessy are teaming up for Ridge's 3rd annual summer sweepstakes. Now, with this sweepstakes, you watching this can enter in to win a brand new upgraded Hennessy Ford Bronco or $75,000 cash. Top link in the description box below the video is going to be my code, where not only you can pick up this Hennessy Ridge wallet and key case, but also every dollar you spend on Ridge's website, you get 1 bonus entry for every dollar. So you can buy the custom Hennessy products or any other products, up to 1,000 entries. And by using my code, top link in the description box below once again, you'll get 10 bonus entries at checkout and 10% off of whatever you purchase. And also fantastic news, you can go on Ridge's website without spending $1 and enter in to the sweepstakes for your chance to win that upgraded Hennessy Ford Bronco or $75,000 cash. Now, the last day of these sweepstakes are going to be September 30th. And great news, for the last 9 days of the sale, there will be a few bonus multipliers starting September 22nd. There's a bonus multiplier of 2 times the entries for every dollar spent on the site. And if you buy the new Hennessy products, you'll get 10 times the entries. So this is the perfect time. If you've been waiting, grab your Ridge wallet. Thank you again to Ridge for sponsoring this video. Once again, top link in the description box below. All right, that's it. Sealing is done. We're looking absolutely fantastic. Just make sure you don't let it sit on there too long, and wipe up your floor as well, especially if you've already sealed the tile on the floor. Did 2 coats. Everything is looking fantastic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the silicone here. And it actually has done a very nice job filling in. Obviously back there, no. Up on the top, yes. All the way down the right crack. I shouldn't say crack, but the edge has turned out just beautifully. And I'm using Mappy, I don't think you pronounce it that way. 00 white color matching silicone. I think I'm gonna need 2 of these to finish this job. Unfortunately, this silicone does drip, even though this is supposed to be a non-drip gun. Anywho, a little bit wasteful. All right, it's done a great job. A little bit of water and dish soap drying here. This is the line right here on the very bottom. Looks beautiful. And I'll show you my technique. The very top there, stunning, fills in the gap. Let's show you what it was before, just like this. And now it's color matching to match the grout color. So let's begin on what you need. Number 1, popsicle sticks. You can pick these up at the dollar store. Need a small little spray bottle with a little bit of dish soap, not too much. A little bit of dish soap, and I just put some warm water in there as well. Stirred it up, and that's what you're gonna do to spray the silicone. This right here is for cleaning a sharp edge if I need to clean it, meaning I wrap the napkin around it while it is sprayed. I'll show you that in a second. And then I just scrape it if I've messed up my line, etc. But the popsicle sticks come in handy. And then a lot of napkins. And the reason a lot of napkins is this stuff is messy regardless, but the dish soap and water technique works great. This over here is going to be behind the baseboards. I did not use the method with the popsicle stick and the water. I used a finger and it was a mess. So this works a lot better. So what we're going to do is we're going to caulk in the edge right here. Okay, so let's get started. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to do this little section here and kind of show you, and then I'll stop the camera and do the whole corner here. But you're gonna just caulk into the corner like you normally would, all the way down. Set down your caulking silicone gun, and then you're gonna take your little spray bottle here. Now for this purpose, I'm not gonna spray too much at the top because I don't want to trap water in there. That's why you kind of caulk the whole thing and then spray. But for this, you just spray it like that. You would obviously spray your whole entire line. And then that soapy water does an absolute fantastic job. I hold a napkin in this side, my popsicle stick right here, and I literally just run it down. I stop, I wipe the excess off, and then I start again. And it literally just comes right off onto the stick because of the soapy water. And then sometimes you kind of have to run it up at a different angle, especially with these wavy tiles, to get the perfect line. Obviously straight tiles, if these were straight, would be a lot easier. But again, you just kind of work it at a couple different angles, making sure, so here we go. That angle right there did a great job. Then if you do need to clean it, what I actually do is I spray it like one more time. And then this is where you can get the napkin out for this straight line right here. So I put my napkin around my 4-inch knife, put it right on the tile, and just back it up. And then move that to a clean section without getting it on your fingers. And then that cleans up the line. Obviously, you could only use this method on this side. The wavy tile, not so much. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. This method does great. Okay, it is moving the bathtub in the bathroom day. I'm by myself. If you're by yourself, put it on a blanket and slide it in. Work smarter, not harder. We're going to get it in position so the drain is facing the accent wall. I did have to take the door off its hinge in order to put it on its side to get it in the bathroom. That was the only way I could fit it in the bathroom on its side with the door off. Okay, so all the plastic is off and protective layer. I still have my blanket down, tipped over, because we do need to screw on our ABS drain, which is left over from the previous bathtub. Now again, they do sell freestanding tub drains. It is a lot easier installation. They're quite a bit more expensive, but it's literally like you just lube up the pipe and drop it into the drain that you've already mounted up into the subflooring and tiled around it. There's some other videos on YouTube about that. But since we already had it on hand, I have it right down here. But let me show you the pipe dope that I'm going to be using instead of Teflon because I don't want this leaking. So this is not it, but this is what I used on all of the other PEX connections that were going into my faucet valve handle. Now, if you actually read this, this says for ABS plastic, use T+2. So this is what we're going to be using for ABS black pipe. And directions say that because my pipe is more than 1 1/4 inch in diameter, we're going to apply this pipe thread sealant on both the female threads and the male threads And this is what I'm talking about here. This was left over from the previous bathtub. I'm going to try to clean that gunk out just a little bit more from hard water. This side turned out a lot better. And so again, I'm going to apply the T+2 inside these threads right here and on the freestanding tub male portion. What I mean about male is this is the male. I'm going to lube this up as well. So don't ABS glue if you're going to go this route. Don't ABS glue a very long piece because then you won't be able to rotate it around. You're going to hit these braces right here. So I'm going to tighten this up the best I can. Nice and hand strength tight. And I'm hoping it's going to end in this area right here, or I think it's like right here. I can't really remember, but anyway, we're going to do it till it's tight and then figure it out. Then I'm going to ABS glue this piece onto this piece, and then this piece I'll ABS glue down right, well, you can't see it, but underneath there is my already glued ABS and then tiled around drain pipe that goes down to my P-trap. Again, not the easiest way, but what we're going to do is we're going to put it on 2x4s so I can reach under there, glue it, and then pull the 2x4s out and try to figure it out. So this is the back of my vanity. Of course, there is a place that goes like right over the back to kind of cover that up against the wall. But with this construction, I actually had to, this is part of my baseboard I'm gonna get to in just a second, but my drain pipe and my PEX piping needed to come up right here. And good thing that this vanity has room back here. This is the bottom slide out drawer, and I do need to dust it off a little bit from cutting that. If you're ever in this situation, you make 2 drill holes and then use your jigsaw and cut that out is the easiest thing to do. So let's go ahead and check it out. That is gonna go right up against the drain pipe here, and I'm gonna get a new P-trap for it. That P-trap was probably one of the originals. A little crusty on the inside. I'm gonna wipe that down as well. A little drywall dust still on it. Got my PEX piping behind it. And unfortunately, I made my dimensions wrong. And you're like, Chris, what does that mean? Oh, this is the vent. I spray painted that satin black as well. That's looking absolutely fantastic. Remember, we moved that vent register from right here. From when you first walk in the door, this ugly vent register, I tucked it underneath the vanity because the vanity is lifted off the ground. So the vanity is going to tuck right into that little ABS pipe. And let's get back to my PEX mess up. I did my measurements wrong. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to get right in this middle section, but my measurements are right below that second shelf, and that second shelf you can't move. That's a stationary shelf. The top one you can move. Not that big of a deal. What I'm going to do is obviously I have to turn off all the water to the house. I'm going to make a cut away from my valve because I don't want to waste those valves. I'm going to reuse those valves. So again, I'm going to turn off my water. I'm going to cut the PEX. Have a towel down because I'm still going to drip a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a PEX 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch connector. And so I'm going to extend the PEX coming up like another probably 6 inches or so, ballpark right around here. Because the reason I'm doing that is even though I could screw on my connections to my bathroom vanity faucet, because of that bottom drawer, if there was an emergency where I had to cut off the water to the faucet, I literally have to like figure out how to remove the soft closing drawer on the bottom, which is a little bit weird, and then get in there and do that. I have no access to these valves. These valves need to be 6 inches higher so I can reach all the way back there and quarter turn those. And so it's not that big of a deal. I still have to do that with the toilet one as well for that connection. And this turned out really sharp. Again, just satin Rust-Oleum black. And then moving over here, I want to talk you through the baseboards. Now, you could do a miter cut if you really want. I decided not to do a miter cut over here in this corner. Not that big of a deal. I'm going to be using some nice caulking, and it's going to look real sharp. You can do a miter cut if you want. And a miter cut is just angled, and so it comes together instead of like a T. This would be a miter cut on my diffusers. I guess I still could if I really wanted to. But anyway, let me think about that one. No one's really gonna look down and like, oh, you didn't miter cut it. In some circumstances, a miter cut is very nice. And I might miter cut, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so here's the tip for you here. So this is butted up against my Schluter edge right here of my tile, and I table sawed these down to 5 inches. They come from Lowe's in 5 1/4, primed, and then I painted them Benjamin Moore Simply White. And if you don't know my hack about paint, I just pick up paint on sale, the good stuff, but on sale from Lowe's. And then they have the color palette where you tell them Simply White by Benjamin Moore. They look it up, they mix it to the exact same color as Benjamin Moore, but it's not Benjamin Moore paint, which is really expensive. Again, I got top of the line Lowe's paint on sale clearance, so it was a win-win for me. Anyway, so what I'm talking about here is I'm gonna go ahead and brad nail these in. Now, this corner is not completely square and flush. I think this side goes up a little bit. Maybe the silicone underneath is interfering a little bit. So once I nail this in, nail gun this in, it's gonna be real nice. These MDF boards are actually flexible. That's why I like these baseboards the best. But I think even though there is gonna be a slight gap right here, and how to fix that gap is literally just get some caulk and go ahead and put a nice bead of caulk in there. No one's gonna know the difference. It's gonna line up just beautifully. And then I would tack in maybe like every 2 feet, tack a couple brad nails in, and then go back with some spackle, put it right over, and then go ahead and just take a little paintbrush and dabble that spackle, and no one will know the difference. So these are Craftsman baseboards. If I didn't mention that, you can pick them up at Lowe's, MDF. Unfortunately, they're a little expensive. The 5 1/4 for an 8-foot board is like $20. For a 12-foot board is like $27, $28. They're not very cheap, but they make your bathroom, bedroom look really, really sharp. Not to mention this size, which don't quote me on this one. I think this size is 9/16 across. It's the thinner out of the two that they sell in, actually the thicker one is 5.5 inches tall. And 5.5 inches is just a little too big. I like 5 flat, and it lines up just beautifully with my Schluter edge tile. Ah, that's a beauty right there. Bathtub is, we're getting to that installation of that pipe. That's a little bit more trickier, lining that up perfectly. So if you have the means to buy the drop-in drain, I would definitely do that. But oh my goodness, it's looking so good. Brad nailer I'm using for this, I'm gonna be using 2-inch brad nails. And I got my Ryobi brushless, was able to get a great deal on this. Got myself a little 4-amp-hour battery. Always linked in the description box below, the tools I use. Let's go ahead and tack this baseboard on. Just like this here. So a mess up into a save. We're looking absolutely fantastic. Again, double clamps coming up to a clamp right here, quarter turn, clamp right there, quarter turn. And I'm going like an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch maximum from where my pecs nipples up against. That's like more like an 1/8 of an inch, ballpark, somewhere right around there. As you can see, the width from the center. You don't want to get too close because then you're gonna go around the ring, and you don't want to go too far back either. So right around there is about perfect. Okay, now obviously make sure your quarter turns are quarter turned off. Go turn back on your water, check for leaks, and that's gonna be absolutely fantastic because now I literally can open up my vanity doors instead of the bottom drawer pulling the whole drawer out, reach in, quarter turn if needs be. Again, that's in the on position. This is in the off position. They're off. I'm gonna go turn on the water, test it for leaks. Just like that, checked out, no drips, looking fantastic. Don't let the party stop, guys. Hit one of these videos, continue to watch, and we'll see you soon.